everyone, and welcome back to the Engine Room. As you know, we're doing a very big effort here with Diego Montalvan to try and get you previews for every single nation that's going to be heading to Qatar by the end of this year. And today we have the very first one. We have the host nation, and we have a very special guest for us for you today, and that is Mohamed El Gharbawy. So, Mohamed, how are you?
Fine, pleased to be on your show.
And thank you very much. And we also have Diego, just like always. Diego, ¿cómo estás?
What's going on, mi gente? As always, it's a pleasure to be here. As Buga said, we are here to bring you an analysis of every country that will be at the World Cup. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off, Mohamed, congratulations. Qatar being in the World Cup, hosting the World Cup. It's a big achievement. Their first World Cup appearance. What is so exciting about this for you?
I've been here since 15 years, and I've been following football in Qatar since decades. So reaching this stage, playing the opening game of the World Cup, it's like it will be a huge moment for everyone. I guess no one have imagined this when when they started to play football here in the 60s and in the 50s and 60s. And the country was a small country. The population was maybe like 20,000 or 30,000 people living here only. So it will be an amazing moment for everyone following football in here. They have been close to qualifying before in 1998, but it didn't work. And now they are the host nation. So it will be the opening game against Ecuador will be a very proud moment for everyone here.
What could you say about, you said they were close to qualifying in 1998. What could you say are the differences between that team that almost qualified and now this team? Yes, they have obviously direct qualification because they're the host nation, but they haven't looked bad. So could you elaborate on that?
I guess it was a completely different situation back then. Like if you look at the country itself, it started like really developing in the new millennium. And when they started the professional league in 2003, that was the real moment they started to work professionally and using science and creating Aspire Academy. Before that, it was like I don't know if you know that the population of Qatar and even 2003 when they started this development, it was 750,000. Now it's near 3 million. So I don't think any country in the world have developed this fast and this way. So even in 1998, football was not fully professional in here. So these players in the current team, they started working on them at a very young age in 2006 with the same coach, Felix Sanchez, and they built the team on in a scientific way, and they were fully dedicated to the team at many points. Like what's happening now, the players didn't play in the league this season. They are playing with only the national team. And it's a completely different situation. And also they are the Asian champions. They never won this tournament before. Even in the 90s, they didn't qualify for the 1996 edition. They went out of the group stage from the previous two. And so it's a completely different situation now. They are the Asian champions. They have a team that was built from scratch and in a very professional way. They have a strong league. So I guess they have the best team they ever had.
Yeah, I would also like to ask you there, Mohamed, there's a very big following here, particularly in the Engine Room that comes from Barcelona, and a very big impact, a very big step, I think, in Qatar personally was when Xavi went there, started as a player, then managing in Al Sadd, and now we see also a Spanish coach being the one in the national team. Has there been an evolution in the culture of the way that they have been playing football? Because since you say I wouldn't say they're a very young nation, but the way that they started, since football is growing more and more, they want to try and adhere to different tactics that perhaps the Spanish football brings, or can you provide us some more context on that situation?
Yeah, as I mentioned, when they started, they started a professional league in 2003, and then the Aspire Academy, they opened it in 2005, and then they started to bring coaches, and many of them were from Spain, including Felix Sanchez, who was coaching at La Masia, Barcelona. So as you said, he started with very young kids. Like the first time I saw them when 2010, they were under 14, and they were many were playing with him since 4 years, so they were like 10 years old. So they crafted the players from this young age to play in the way like Barcelona was playing, the small, the quick passes, the positions. So it's there's a very big influence from Spanish football, especially from Barcelona on the team. But now they have to prove that on a big stage.
Yeah. I mean, the Maroon are in Group A alongside Ecuador, Senegal, and Netherlands, right? You've already mentioned that they're Asian champions, and we've seen them play in Gold Cup. We've seen them play against teams from CONMEBOL, from South America. They haven't looked bad at all, right? So how do you feel about this group, and what do you think are the chances of making it out of the group?
I think it's a very difficult group. They will face two teams with all the players are playing in European clubs, and even Ecuador have also players in Europe. So when they took part in Copa America and in Gold Cup, they played very good games, and it happened after winning the Asian Cup. But still, I was hoping that I see them, these young players, when they won the Asian Cup, to go also and play in Europe. It didn't have to be in top leagues. They could have played in Belgium. Like here, they have Aspire own the club in Belgium, and they could have played even in Austria, in Switzerland. That would have been a good way for them to gain more experience and to develop. But it didn't happen. So as you see, they played a lot of games. Even now, they have been in a training camps since months. They are not consistent. That's a problem. The key will be trying to get each player to reach his peak just before the World Cup, and to be in top form, and also the team to be playing well just ahead of the World Cup. And maybe they can do some surprises like they did in Copa America in the first game, and reaching the semifinals of the Gold Cup. But still, the chances are difficult, I guess, against Senegal and Netherlands. The first game against Ecuador, it's a must-win for them, and it can decide their fate, I guess. If they can get the 3 points in that game, it will give them a push. The fans will be more behind them, and they can get something out of Senegal, and it will be that's it. Especially if Netherlands qualified already before the third game, they will have a chance here. But the key will be beating Ecuador in the first game.
That's the most important.
So hopefully they will do it.
So could you mention a little bit about to the audience? I think you already mentioned a little bit about how the Spanish influence has kind of threaded its roots into Qatarian football. But what would you be expecting Felix Sanchez to do coming into the tournament? Do you think that against Ecuador they're going to go attacking a little bit more all-out attack, but then be a little bit more cautious? What's the style of play that fans from other nations should be expecting of Qatar coming into these early stages of the group stage?
I'll be hoping he will play attacking football, and against Ecuador he must do that. It's we saw in the latest games, and he was playing with by three at the back, and they had a very good left back who have been the Asian Player of the Year before, Abdul Karim Hassan. He's now playing more in a central role, and there's a new young guy. His name is Humam Al-Amin. He's doing very well on the left flank. So the key will be to attack in that first game. Maybe he can defend a little bit against Senegal, as he will have some, like Mane, and they are the champions of Africa. Netherlands also, even if they played with a second team to rest their main players, they will still be a very difficult team to face. They will have to defend a little bit. The Ecuador, they will have to take the risk and attack. They have done that before, and in some games that did work. But like in the latest European qualifiers, they have been struggling in defense. They conceded a lot of goals from crosses. If Felix Sanchez can solve this just before the World Cup, it will make a great difference. But against Ecuador, they must attack. They must try to win the game.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think would be the sort of X factor that Qatar brings to the game? So, for instance, an example, we both are from Peru, and when Peru went to the World Cup in 2018, I think many people were surprised about the organization that the manager gave the team, and how they were able to compete in every single game until the last minutes. All games were by a difference of 1 goal, so that was a little bit of the organization. What do you think would be that X factor for Qatar? Could it be the fans? Could it be the manager that is just really organized? What do you think that people could be surprised by this nation?
Yeah, I guess the support will be crucial in the matches. During the Arab Cup, it was really amazing, and they had record attendance in one of the games against UAE. When you see the attendance in the Qatar matches, you will see Qatar's population, as I said, now it's nearly 3 million, 2.9 million, and most of them are expats, actually, not Qataris. So you see that mix in the stands of every nationality. Everyone is supporting in his own way, except for the Mexican waves. So, it makes a lot of difference for the players, because also many of them are they were born here to expat families. So it's the fans will be crucial, as you said, and I guess it will give them an advantage. But still, the opening game should be the key for qualifying. But even if they didn't qualify, I guess played very good games until the last minute, they will still be proud of them.
100%.
You mentioned the fans, so I have to ask, right? Like I said, speaking of their form, they've done pretty well when they've played at home. Obviously, the tournament is on home turf. So, what is the feeling there? How is there positivity because of that?
Yes, sure. Everyone is hoping that they will be able to do it. The latest form was not so promising, but even Felix Sanchez, because he was not a big name in coaching before,
right?
So he was always criticized by fans. Whenever there is a bad result, even for the Asian Cups, they lost against Curacao, and I guess they lost other games. So it was for them, they didn't expect anything from him, and he didn't take experienced players like Sebastian Soria. He's the main striker for the team for years. But still, he surprised everyone there with his team that the players was him for years, and they won the Asian Under-19 Championship in 2014. So maybe they will hope another surprise can happen. I guess they are not expecting much, but we like, I guess, he will be behind the team until the last minute.
If you had to be Felix Sanchez today, what would be your 11?
I guess it's not difficult to choose because that's why one of the main problems of the team, like the bench, they don't have the same quality on the bench of the main players, and players like Akram Afif and Muaz up front, they are very difficult to be replaced. There is no one who can like do what they are doing when they are in top form and they are very well connected, and like it's very difficult to stop them. For the goalkeeping, he should go with the experienced one. Saad al-Shaibi is playing here for Al Sadd. Actually, 15 players of that team are playing for Al Sadd, the team that was coached by Xavi. And there's another young goalkeeper, Mu'taz Barsham, and he's the brother of Olympic gold medalist and the world champion in high jump. Mu'taz Barsham. And Mishal Basham is the goalkeeper so Mu'taz is a world champion in athletics in high jump. He's also very good, but I guess Felix should go with the experienced goalkeeper. And at the back, there's Bassam Al-Rawi and Tariq Salman. They are also they should be there. And if you will play with Abu Allam Khouki, he's also this guy is very experienced. So this will be this should be the three at the back. He's right now he's playing with Abdul Karim Hassan, who is originally a left back and the winger. So on the left, he has been using Humam Al-Amin for most of the games, but I think Abdul Karim should be there. And on the right flank, it's Petro. He's also an experienced player. In the midfield, also, I guess he will go for experience. Karim Poudiaf should be there. And if you want also a little bit of creativity there, he should think of Salim Al-Hajri. This player was a very good one. He had injuries latestly. The latest he has been out for a long time, but he played beside Xavi at Al Sadd for a season or two. So, and maybe that he can be the surprise in the midfield. But there is also Abdulaziz Hatem. He's also an experienced midfielder. So these three he will go out with two of them, I guess. Up front, the main striker will be Al-Muaz, and Akram Afif will be on the wings. I like him when he plays on the left. Yeah. He's always really creative and dangerous, but he have been playing on the right in some games, and I was not impressed by his performance. And then there is the captain also. He's another winger. He can play also behind the striker. With Hassan Al-Haidous. I guess that would be a good team if he was there.
I like your front three. I do. I really do.
The most important thing is they have to be in top form. And of course, if some of them is injured before the tournament, that will be like a huge blow for the team.
Is there one player on that 11 that you would say, the fans World Cup, you got to watch out for him?
It's Akram Afif, of course. Yeah, he's a very creative player, and he played in Europe for a while. He didn't impress when he was in Spain at Sporting Gijón, and he was just at the start. He should have went back to Europe after the 2019 Asian Cup. That's what I was hoping, because here he was like in a different level, different league compared to any other player. He was really in top form in the past 2 seasons. I was hoping to see him growing more. But he stayed in domestic league.
Yeah, I remember he played a bit at Villarreal, if I'm not wrong. I think
Yes,
I
he was
remember.
in
Yeah.
Real for a while, and he was loaned to Sporting Gijón. He also played in Open, the club, the
Yeah,
Belgian
open
club owned by
Belgium.
Aspire. He
Mhm.
achieved promotion with them. And I always like him also when he play on the left with Abdul Karim Hassan, which was not
Mhm.
happening a lot lately because Al Amin is playing. Both of them alongside Al Mu'izz, like when they are like well connected and in good form, they can be like a threat to any kind of defense. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Akram Afif his creativity is unmatched in the team. He's one of the best players in Asia. I remember in the Asian Cup, it was like he was the best playmaker, and I don't remember if he made like 7 or 8 assists, and the top scorer was Almoiz, was 9 goals.
Mhm.
He created for him.
So if you could say for like a viewer who doesn't know Afif, what sort, like if you could compare him to a player in Europe, what would you say would be? So just someone, so like a neutral would say, okay, I could see he's like who?
I'm trying to think of someone who's a little bit because here, like many also of the players, they don't have that strong physique, but they had the skill. I'm trying to remember. I remember the Joe Cole of Chelsea, maybe. This kind of creative player.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who is right now. I guess also Barcelona have some like players who are not so strong but very talented.
Rafinha.
But, so
Yeah.
he's like like he's like a wizard. He always finds solutions.
Like a Brazilian winger.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. I don't know if he went to Europe, how much he could have developed. Like if he went again, I mean. But the first experience for him there was not that great, I guess. I remember because of his body also, he was not good in duels and challenges. He was given a few chances and he didn't impress him. But now he should have tried again. Anyway, let's see if after the World Cup, if he played well, I guess he might have a chance. But there is a problem always for players here of going abroad and playing in the whole Gulf region because they here is their family and there's also traditions. And they are earning very good money. Like maybe they will not earn it in Europe. So what would push them to go and play in Europe? They have everything in here. They are with their families, and they have the best coaches. They have the best medical treatment. Also at Aspire, they have a hospital there called Aspitar. So there is no real motivation to go and play for Europe. But I was hoping that they pushed them to do it before the World Cup. Yeah. It didn't happen, and also the decision not to play the league games, I didn't like it at all. And people started to when they lost the latest friendly games, people started to say like, who had this decision? Who made this decision? Because they looked out of form. I guess they should have played in the league, at least even domestic league, because most of the players who will come from Europe, they will be in mid-season. Many of them will be in top form, and that's really a risky decision to take to have them dedicated only to the national team, playing friendlies against like clubs, against other B sides. But at the end of the day, I guess Felix knows what he's doing, and let's trust him again.
Yeah.
I think to close out, I kind of want to ask about the World Cup itself, the tournament itself, being hosted in Qatar, which is obviously the first time it's been hosted in the Middle East. And we've heard already, obviously that there's different laws, different ways of life in Qatar that many people, the alcohol or public display of affection. How is all that, for you relevant to the game, or how is it going to change the experience for many of the fans that will be traveling?
Yeah, I guess like many of the things, like people, people are hearing is because they never visited here, they never saw the country. But yeah, it's not like, completely like closed country because like there are alcohol at hotels, there are beaches, there are like there are people of all lifestyles who lives here, and no one here like can stop anyone in the street of doing anything. There is laws here that protect them. Like no one can take law in his own hand. So I guess it will be country will be safe, and a lot of preconceptions that people have will not happen. And at the end of the day, there will be, like as I said, Qatar is 2.9 million. If they were expecting 1.5 million, or at least I guess 1 million will come, no one will have time to they will all be focused on organizing the tournament, making sure there are no accidents or no troubles, and security will be the number one priority. Will not be looking at who at small incidents or someone with a flag or someone doing anything. I guess, and it will not be as people are expecting. And they should just here it's a completely different country from many like anyone. I guess not for the 1 million who came, they didn't visit this region before, like the culture in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. It's like it's completely different from many other cultures. They have most of them were living in before the oil. It was desert life, and they have to look at this history. They have to come and see the heritage sites, the museums. They will learn about how this people here lived only maybe 50 years ago. It was a completely different life for them, and to grow from this to a World Cup host, it's really to have all this, infrastructure and everything. But generally, I guess it will be nothing will happen. But I guess the criticism will keep on going until the final game, maybe, and maybe if they will look for mistakes that might happen, of course. So, but generally, I guess people will enjoy it here. It will be different than any other World Cup that happened before. They will not travel that much. They can walk even, actually, I guess, between the whole stadiums. Yeah. They don't have to even ride the metro. So, yeah, I guess they can. It's according to, like, the people who will come, if they want to enjoy, they will enjoy. If they don't, they will struggle. Yeah.
I want to go so bad.
I mean, that's perfect. I think obviously it's, even though there's differences where there are differences everywhere in the world, you just got to go obey the laws and have fun, which is what this is about, right? Well, the World Cup is one of the most exciting things to see in the world, the biggest event in the world. And so, hopefully everything goes to plan, everything is great, and everyone just enjoys. Mohamed,
I guess they have to, like, everyone has to understand that, like, even here, like, they cannot change what beliefs of the people, or like their lifestyles who are coming here. They will not like change, and also people coming from outside, they will never change people who have lived for decades with the same traditions. So just like each side should respect the other and just focus on watching football.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself, to be honest with you. Mohamed, I want to thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure. We've gotten so much insight.
Really pleased to be with you.
We've gotten so much insight into what, the Qatari national team and what to expect from this World Cup and them, obviously. Buga, I don't know if you have any closing comments.
No, really. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for giving perspective to all of us, and to tell us what Qatar can do in football, and really just thank you, because you gave us a very good opening interview, and just best of luck in the World Cup. I'm going to be rooting for you guys.
Thank you very much, and really pleased to be on your show. And I hope we'll meet again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. That concludes our show with Qatar. Guys, thank you so much. Stay tuned, because we got all the countries for the World Cup that we're going to be analyzing. This is just the first, Qatar. So please stay tuned on the Engine Room. Comment, like, subscribe. See y'all soon.